unholy! What's up, guys and gals? Jared here with another demonic horror film of a movie review. So as you know, I'm not a big horror fan, but you know what? For all of you guys, I got my poop together and went out and saw the latest film in the Conjuring franchise, The Nun. So did The Nun fill my shorts with Hershey's chocolate? Let's find out. So The Nun isn't your typical priest-touching little boy storyline. It takes place in 1952 Romania at the Carta Monastery. Two nuns are attacked by a dark presence. One of them is murdered, and the other one goes and hangs herself, so then the evil presence or whatever doesn't have a body for a vessel. Anyways, this instance attracts the attention of the Vatican, and they send Father Burke and Sister Irene to go investigate. Once at the monastery, odd and terrifying things begin to happen to the duo as they try to discover if it was a murder, if the monastery is actually an unholy place, and what exactly is going on. It is then revealed that the demon by the name of Valak is the one that's tormenting them and takes the form of a nun and just needs to be stopped. So I'm not a big horror fan, but I thought that this nun film was fine. I mean, I haven't seen any of the prior Conjuring films, so this kind of felt like a standalone movie. If there was anything connected, I didn't really catch it. But I will say that the dark, ominous score at the center of this film was one of its highlights. It definitely set the tone of creepiness for the monastery and the nun in general. Every time the nun had a presence on screen, this demonic chanting theme really kicked in, which scared the bejesus out of me, but was also appealing because it really set this overall vibe for the character and really fit into this film. The atmosphere or environment that was really set up in this film was another one of its strengths. They do a really good job of exploring how big and creepy this whole monastery is, from them like approaching it to the living quarters to this like demonic basement dwelling. At times, it almost created this claustrophobic feeling of like a character walking down this narrow hallway, fog low on the ground, just cluttered with crosses. Overall, it was a creepy place that added to the overall creepiness of the film and almost this gothic vibe. Now, as I mentioned, this is my first Conjuring film. I haven't seen any of the other ones, so if there were certain story beats, maybe they were missed by me, but this story sort of felt like it was all over the place. The main gist of this movie is that there's this investigation at the monastery. They go to investigate, and then they find out that there's evil forces. But the film's story takes these tangents or goes in directions that really don't add to the overall plot or main plot line. Instead, it shows how Father Burke has this prior exorcism that doesn't really go as planned. It goes to the townsman that's at the bar drinking. It just doesn't really tie into everything. The town bar scene does add this little comedic element to the film, but otherwise it just kind of jumps all over the place, and it feels like there's these frightening highlights rather than a cohesive story. Also, the way that they try to connect this with the core Conjuring films just felt like it was an after-the-fact thought, and they just kind of forced it into the beginning and the end. It almost felt like one of those cheesy season premiere catch-up things like Last Time on The Conjuring. Ed and Lorraine get into all sorts of scrambles when they release an unspeakable evil nun named Valak. Old Valak is a bit cranky and causes quite a pickle for the Warrens. Will they be able to send this evil bitch back to hell? This week on The Conjuring. Lastly, the scares in this one. Now, I luckily made this movie out intact, but it just felt like it was really cheap. There was a lot of jump scares, and it wasn't any like tension drawn out stuff to really scare you. It was a lot of the demon nun jumping out of mirrors, the darkness, water. Also a lot of, hello, music drops, slow pan over. We don't see anything. Slow pan back to the main character, and the evil spirit is right behind him. I guess it's fine for this blockbuster film, but it felt like it really lacked the creativity to really frighten the audience, and that's saying something coming from me, who was terrified of the leprechaun. Overall, The Nun is a stylized and ominous horror blockbuster, but really fails to add any substance. With a dark, ominous score and some creepy atmosphere and set pieces, but with a story that felt like it was all over the place, being jam-packed into this Conjuring franchise, and just jump scares that didn't really add much, I'd marginally recommend The Nun. If you're a horror fan or a fan of the Conjuring films, go for it, but otherwise, I'd say you're okay to skip it. So what did you think of The Nun? Was this the terrifying new addition to the Conjuring franchise you were hoping for? Or should this nun movie have taken a vow of silence? Do nuns even do that? I want to hear about it in the comments below. As always, you can find me on the social medias at Jared Buckendahl on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Stardust. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Again, there's plenty of movie reviews, trailer reactions, comedy skits, all of the newest reviews on this channel, so go check them out. And until next time, I'll see you later.